Black people across this country are outraged at what is happening now with these efforts to do away with the African American Museum and all of the Smithsonian.
Are you promoting a white supremacy culture at the Smithsonian?
Am I promoting a white?
Ma'am, is this a difficult question?
No, sir, I'm just thinking about the mass action toolkit. We didn't develop it.
Is Mickey Mouse racist?
Mickey Mouse is not racist.
It's,
Yes,
is it important to be polite?
Excuse me, sir?
Is it important to be polite?
Yes, sir.
Same mass action toolkit that your organization has been promoting references politeness as a defining characteristic of white supremacy culture. Ma'am, are you a white supremacist? Can you help me square why your organization says that being polite?
Wow, that was epic. You just saw a fierce committee showdown where lawmakers stripped away the bureaucratic talking points and forced Smithsonian leadership to answer for controversial, politically charged toolkits promoted under their watch. Now, let's go straight to the full uncut.
Thank you for holding this hearing and to the witnesses for taking the time to travel all the way out here. Director Hardig, thank you for being here. Would you say that the goal of history, even if it's not properly carried out, would you say that the goal of history is to be objective?
Thank you, sir, for the question. You know, I think that there are many goals of history, and certainly as you collect, as we do, examine evidence, create scholarship.
Is objectivity one of the goals of history?
We strive to be objective and nonpartisan and not based on any ideology.
So it's one of the goals. Doesn't that seem a little bit concerning? It certainly does to me, because as part of this white supremacy document that your organization has promoted, objectivity is a core and defining aspect of white supremacy culture. Do you think that it's the goal of the Smithsonian Institution to promote white supremacy culture?
Sir, do you mind sharing with me which document?
It's white supremacy culture right here. This is part of the mass action toolkit that your organization has promoted for several years now under your leadership. Are you promoting a white supremacy culture at the Smithsonian?
Am I promoting a white?
Ma'am, is this a difficult question?
No, sir, I'm just thinking about the mass action toolkit. We didn't develop it, but back to your question, no, we're not promoting any ideology.
Does it concern you that your goal is objectivity, one of your goals is objectivity, and your mass action toolkit references objectivity as a defining characteristic of white supremacy culture?
It's not our toolkit.
It is your toolkit. You've been promoting it for quite some time.
We did not come up with the toolkit, sir.
But you've been promoting it.
It is used as a reference, I believe, probably in 2019, 2020.
Yes, under your leadership, it has been used as a reference. Is Mickey Mouse racist?
Mickey Mouse is not racist.
It's not racist. According to the Smithsonian Institution, one of your exhibits referenced Mickey Mouse as representing, quote, vestiges of longstanding traditions of blackface minstrelsy. Would you describe that as racist?
No, the historical trajectory of the origins of Mickey Mouse tie directly
so Mickey Mouse is rooted in racism. Is that your testimony?
No, sir, it's rooted in minstrelsy.
Minstrelsy, and you don't think that blackface minstrelsy is racist?
It had certain obvious racial overtones that have been well documented.
You think that that's problematic, that Mickey Mouse also has those racial overtones?
It's not for me to determine what's problematic. It's determined to me what's accurate.
Is that right?
Yes,
is it important to be polite?
Excuse me, sir?
Is it important to be polite?
Yes, sir.
It's also interesting because the same mass action toolkit that your organization has been promoting references politeness as a defining characteristic of white supremacy culture. Ma'am, are you a white supremacist?
No, sir.
You're not. Can you help me square why your organization says that being polite is part of being a white supremacist?
I'm not exactly familiar with that passage of the Mass Action Toolkit, which is not
I can show you the
one that we
passage, it's
developed.
right here.
I don't, pardon me?
I said I just read you the passage from it.
And then your question was, sir?
We're going to move on. What is Latina power?
What is Latino power?
Latina power.
Latina power would be the forces derived from being a Latina.
Do you think that it's appropriate for the Smithsonian Institution to sell Latina power paraphernalia? Hats, mugs, other things that say Latina power?
I believe that the merchandise our store sells
I'm asking you if it's appropriate.
tries to reflect the richness of the communities.
So your testimony is that it is appropriate?
Those are your words, sir.
I'm asking you, is it appropriate to sell Latina power paraphernalia? It's a yes or no question.
I don't have control over what is sold
I'm
in our
asking you if it's
stores.
appropriate. I didn't ask you if you have control over it. Is
I
it
understood you,
appropriate?
sir. Yeah.
Yes or no?
Again, we strive to represent all Americans and including
Is it
in our
appropriate, yes or
merchandise.
no?
We strive to represent all Americans in our museums, including in our merchandise.
Is that right? My
Yes,
time's
sir.
up.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Mafumi from Maryland.
Mr. Chairman, a UC request.
Yes.
Ask unanimous consent to enter into the record a Newsweek article from March 19, 2025, titled Jackie Robinson's Army History Deleted by Pentagon.
So ordered. Anything else? Mr. Mafumi, you're recognized.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I only have 5 minutes, so I'm going to try to make the most out of it by making some very clear points. Black people across this country are outraged at what is happening now with these efforts to do away with the African American Museum and all of the Smithsonian. They're outraged because they've lived too many years, been through too many struggles, suffered too many bruises, and clearly have very, very, very little to show for that sojourn here in this country. I want to be real clear about this. If you erase it, we will replace it. It's that damn simple. We don't seem to learn. If anything, we should be looking at history to learn and to make sure that we are taking advantage of what we've learned. You know, it was Abraham Lincoln in 1848 who addressed his countrymen in Edwardsville, Illinois, and he said, and I quote, "When you have succeeded in dehumanizing the Negro, when you have put him down and made it but for him to be, but as the beast of the field, when you have extinguished his soul in this world and placed him where the ray of hope is blown out, as in the darkness of the damned, are you quite sure," he asked, "that the demon you have roused will not one day turn and rend you?" He said, "What constitutes the bulwark of our freedom and our independence? It is not," said Lincoln, "our crown and battlements. It is not our armies and our navies. It is not our bristling seacoast. For all those things are not our reliance against tyranny, because they can all be turned against us without having made us weaker for the struggle. Our reliance," he said, "as Americans is in the love of liberty which God has planted deep within all of us, regardless of how we look and where we come from." He said, "Our reliance is in the spirit of freedom, which prides itself as the heritage of all men in all lands everywhere." And then he admonished, "Destroy that spirit, and you would have planted the seeds of despotism at your own doorstep. Ignore," he said, "the chains of human bondage, and you prepare one day for your own limbs to wear them. Accustom," he said, "to trample on the rights of other people, and you would have lost the creative genius of your own American independence, and as such would become the fit subjects of the first cunning tyrant who rises among you." Sound familiar? History taught us and still teaches us that we can't keep making the same mistakes. So I know this is a big discussion about a lot of aspects about the museum. But I'm here as a black man who grew up in segregation, who wasn't allowed to go certain places, who drank from a water fountain that said colored, who found his mother and his father unable to do anything other than basic day work. And if for no one else, if for them and their spirit and all the other nameless and faceless black men in this country and black women who made their bodies bridges, that some of us could get to the university, that some of us could get to a good job, that some of us could get to the United States, if for no other reason. I want this to go out loud and clear, and I'm not speaking just on behalf of myself. I know that I speak on behalf of so many people who are not here today. We will not let you destroy that museum, no matter how long it takes, how many battles are required, how much effort is needed.
You just witnessed a masterclass in exposing ideological drift in our national institutions. The lawmaker confronted the Smithsonian director over the institution's promotion of a mass action toolkit that explicitly labels things like objectivity, perfectionism, and even basic politeness as defining characteristics of white supremacy culture. When pressed on whether the Smithsonian was promoting that ideology, the director stumbled, trying to distance the institution from the very materials it distributed. It's a prime example of institutional capture where common sense values are quietly undermined by radical academic dogma. The questioning didn't stop there. The lawmaker highlighted a deeply disturbing contradiction. The Smithsonian claims its goal in history is objectivity. Yet the toolkit had endorsed Brand's objectivity itself as a core aspect of white supremacy. When pushed on whether that logic makes sense, the answers fell completely flat. The exchange laid bare how far taxpayer-funded cultural institutions have strayed from their foundational mission of presenting neutral, accurate history for all Americans. The hearing also exposed the absurd political lens being applied to American culture, touching on everything from controversial historical analyses of iconic cartoon characters to the propriety of selling politically loaded merchandise in museum stores. While the leadership tried to hide behind phrases like representing the richness of communities, the questioning exposed a clear double standard in how public resources and spaces are utilized. If you're tired of taxpayer-funded institutions pushing woke ideology instead of objective history, smash that subscribe button right now. We're here to hold the swamp accountable. This hearing wasn't just about a toolkit. It was about whether our national museums belong to all Americans or are being used to push a narrow, divisive political agenda. The lawmaker demanded accountability, and the leadership was left scrambling for answers. What did you think of this intense grilling? Should taxpayer-funded museums promote these kinds of ideological toolkits? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.